When we first spoke about Goblin Slayer on the channel 7 years ago, Goblin Slayer dropped its first episode and just shattered the internet. Shonen fans were losing their minds at a certain infamous scene. Well, my subscribers knew. They knew that this was just peak. This was just peak fan service. Even though the sensitive side of the internet was enraged, Goblin Slayer continued releasing more novels, a manga, a season 2, ever growing in popularity, and while we're patiently hoping for that season 3, Goblin Slayer is continuing its popularity by collaborating with one of my favorite new games that's unapologetically fan service heavy and giving us that peak plot, Brown Dust 2. Speaking of which, Brown Dust 2 went full send and brought that iconic Goblin Slayer scene straight into the game. It's just something you have to go play through yourself. Now, I've been planning on starting a little Brown Dust 2 community here on the channel lately, as usual. Post-2020 anime fans crying about fan service have decided to berate the game and games like it on Twitter and other platforms. And those of us who actually get it, we're eating good. We're eating good, man. There's just too many people complaining about animators and fan service these days. Well, thankfully we have Brown Dust 2 Korean CEO Lee Jun-hee, who is a huge fan of 90s JRPGs, to listen to what the actual players want, man. Giving us crisp 2D animation, a smoother UI, all the fan-driven updates that we've been asking for. I mean, Korea knows it's going to be successful for what it is, and like me, could care less if people outside of the intended audience don't like it. So what better time to share this game than with their brand new Goblin Slayer collab going on until June 5th, so you will only be able to get the Goblin Slayer characters until then. That's why I definitely suggest you go download the game through the link in the description, get them before they're gone, plus you'll immediately get character draw reward tickets on login. Now, I am a massive fan of original light novel character designer Noboru Kanatsuki, and Brown Dust devs continue to give us beautiful artwork, so I could not be more excited for this collaboration and all of the artwork and character animation that we're getting out of it. I'm sure Kanatsuki himself is pleased with their take on his style. The teaser video itself is already beautiful, and with what BD2 has done in the past, I am just so hyped for this entire event. They really went all in, picking some fan favorite characters for this collab, and yes, the one we've all been waiting for is here, our beloved ex-Golden Rank Archbishop, Mommy Sword Maiden. You just know the Brown Dust 2 devs weren't going to miss the chance to bless us with some top-tier cultured animations. She's specializing in light-based magic attacks that hit in a dramatic cross-shaped zone. Very, very on brand for her whole aesthetic. Her build is sleek and easy to work into any team, just like how she seamlessly worked her way into Goblin Slayer's bed in episode 8, iconic scene by the way. And while she's already part of the story, she officially becomes playable on May 22nd, so go ahead and mark your calendars to unlock her then. And of course, what's a Goblin Slayer collab without the man himself, the stoic, goblin-hating, accidentally building a harem Goblin Slayer. He's showing up as a fire-type property physical attacker, which of course suits his relentless combat style perfectly, and I just love how the devs stayed true to how he strategizes in the anime. Like, he's got tanky skills like damage reduction and even brings SP recovery support to the team. He's not just a frontliner, he's a one-man game plan, and it's really like watching the anime tactics play out but in your own party lineup. And yes, he's still silently collecting those waifus on the side while staying completely unaware. No fanfare, no nonsense, just pure anti-goblin energy and the classic Goblin Slayer. As you'd expect, Priestess is a light element magic dealer and debuffer, no surprises there. High Elf Archer delivers horizontal attacks with guaranteed critical hits, staying true to her character design, hitting all of those one-shots on goblins in the anime. Just a quick shout out to the devs. It's awesome that they made sure that these limited event costumes are so balanced, so we're not stuck with like broken characters. There are 4 total units in this collab. Goblin Slayer fans, you're in luck. His ultra rare exclusive gear and 6 versions of his costume are being given away for free, plus all 4 characters get their super rare exclusive gear as long as you log in during the event. As long as you're playing through this, you can grab all of it. The new story event kicks off with Lathel and the Brown Dust 2 crew showing up at the Goblin Ruins after taking on a goblin extermination quest from Grandis. What's awesome is how they tied the collab into the Brown Dust 2 world through Shara, a BD2 original character who plays a huge role in the storyline. And yeah, they didn't shy away from recreating that infamous scene from Goblin Slayer's first episode, except this time just when things look grim. the Goblin Slayer team steps in to save her. Maybe. In the game, the goblins explicitly talk about capturing and breeding the girls, so you'll just have to see how things play out for them. Poor Sword Maiden has been through enough already, so let's just take a moment of silence and pray for her. And then there's some really cool twists that not only pays homage to the original with a certain mirror and some battles, but also blends perfectly with the BD2 universe. So Shara joins the Goblin Slaying crew for this one on a hunt for an ancient relic, keeping the adventure going strong. Before jumping into more on the Goblin Slayer event, I want to let you guys also know that I'm going to start a dedicated channel in our Discord for BD2 as well, not only for the consistently extremely hot characters and artwork, but this is just one of the most fun games I've played in a while. It feels so much more like a fully fledged, very nostalgic JRPG from the 90s than a gacha game. You can explore a bunch of different towns while having direct control of your customizable character set. Again, in my case, some very hot ones. Morpia best girl. I kicked things off in a creepy zombie-infested village before moving to an old mining town when I first started the game, so each location kind of has its own unique vibe and characters and storylines, and these are unlocked through special story packs that kind of work like retro game cartridges. As you progress, you not only meet the main cast through these packs and unlock more of them, but you also get to build and customize your own team. Right now, the new Goblin Slayer characters are available for a limited time, so if you're interested, I recommend hitting the link in the description and jumping in the game right away. Besides those, I've been running a squad I built up through a mix of gacha pulls and gameplay. My main, like I said, is Morpia in her apostle outfit. She's absolutely cracked to say the least, and I'm planning to completely max her out. Such a gorgeous character design. And then there's Elise in the lovely lady costume, who I picked up using the infinite reroll you get when you first start out the game. I basically kept rerolling until I landed her along with a few other favorites, and I've been rotating a few others into my team as well, like Elpis and some newer ones that I've unlocked. And the story is actually really good. I legit feel like I'm playing through an anime. So far, Lathel and Ustia have been great main characters, and it's just such a good intro into the game. As you progress through the main story mission packs, you'll gather slimes and food, which are essential for leveling up your characters. You can equip them with gear, upgrade it, steadily enhance their power. Each character has distinct skills, ultimates, and even unique non-combat abilities, like Lathel, who can uncover hidden items while you're playing through the game, which is pretty cool. There's also gear crafting, healing, so much more, but the best part, the costumes, because they're linked to the unique abilities and class archetypes for the characters, and more importantly, they're the hottest part of the game. Again, Morpia, best girl. So glad I unlocked that costume. Even though I don't play too many of these games, I think this is such a sick aspect, and there are just so many badass costumes and extremely cultured ones to unlock. Alright, so the actual gameplay, it's smooth. As you're pushing through the story, you're constantly running into enemies, kicking off these turn-based battles on a 3x4 grid. You've got full control over where your characters are placed and who acts when. It's way more tactical than I expected, and I'm really into how you pick and combo abilities mid-fight. It just gives you so much more freedom than most gacha games out there. Honestly, this feels way more like a proper JRPG that just happens to have some gacha stuff, not the other way around. You can wail if you want, sure, but even if you're just playing through the game free, there's a ton of solid characters to run with. Brown Dust is actually pretty generous compared to some other ones I've played. Between the dungeon mechanics, fully voiced cutscenes, the narrative, slick character designs, yeah, I'm hooked. This one's got that old school nostalgic JRPG soul, but it's like polished up with modern features. Legit, one of my favorite tactical games out right now, and the soundtrack is just so perfectly done. I definitely recommend you play through this one with headphones, because that leads us to our other side of the game with the home screen, where there are some really sick soundtracks that you can shuffle through, along with live interactive wallpapers that we'll talk about in a bit, because those are pretty spicy. So from the home screen, you can access the event pack and 2 other seasonal events, the first being Goblin Slayer Journey to Another World, from May 8th to May 22nd. Of course, you can find the event pack we talked about earlier, with Shara teaming up with Goblin Slayer and his allies in the new storyline, but here you'll also be able to access normal battles, challenge battles, and the Fiend Hunter boss. With a lot of new players joining this event, the devs have kept the new Fiend Hunters pretty easy to use with no skill condition, and then starting on May 22nd and going until June 5th, we're gonna have Goblin Doomsday. Basically, Goblin Slayer finds out that goblins exist in this world too, and of course he's not having it. The event follows him going all out, hunting them down, just like he always does in the anime. You'll get to jump into the goblin ruins, where there's a ton of enemies and gold, and just watch him tear through goblins non-stop. Pretty classic. It's going to be a cool event if you're into the Goblin Slayer world. Super straightforward and him doing what he does best. That event will have another Fiend Hunter boss, Master of the Fiend Den. This boss has been hanging out in the dungeon way before goblins were even a thing. It's going to be huge, tough, and basically rule the entire Fiend Den. So what's cool is the way the fight works. It buffs everyone, including you and your team. So you're going to get guaranteed crits and bonus crit damage, but the catch is the boss hits really hard too. So it's kind of like a glass cannon situation on both sides. It's going to be all about dishing out big damage before you get wiped out. And the mechanics are pretty simple, which is great if you're newer to the game. Just make sure you bring gear with high defense or some solid shields to survive those heavy hits. And yeah, the skill cutscenes for this one are gonna look sick as well. Alright, so back on the home screen, honestly, just one of my favorite things about Brown Dust 2, leave it open on my desk all the time, is the live 2D wallpapers. You can mess with them a bit through the home settings button up in the top right corner, and from there you can adjust things like story effects, cutscene effects, standing illustrations, and the best part, the affinity level effects. Let's just say you can interact with your favorite characters a little more up close. And to get all that, just head over to the Glue Talk on the home page. Once you unlock the Gluppy Diner from the pack collection, you're dropped into this chill little restaurant setup where you're basically the boss, but with amnesia, and the only things you really remember are the combos you've had with hot girls who show up. So the diner itself is something that you can level up over time, and it actually gives you rewards just for logging into the game, being on the home screen. Plus, Glue Talk has a bunch of different encounters with those hot characters, and that's how you unlock more of these awesome live wallpapers. And I'm not gonna lie, I love just leaving it running on my desk. The wallpapers are, yeah, kind of spicy. Oh, and hit the little eye icon in the top left to turn off the UI if you want the clean view. There's just so much cool stuff in this game right now. If you've been thinking about jumping in, the Goblin Slayer event is the perfect time. Tons of characters and content. Make sure you're subscribed too, because I've got an unboxing video coming up with not only the rare Goblin Slayer merch and official Kanatsuki artwork that I picked up in Japan, but I finally have it, the Holy Grail, the rarest Goblin Slayer official item in the world. We will be unboxing it right here on the channel. And yes, of course, it is some special artwork of Sword Maiden. Links are all in the description. Grab Brown Dust 2, hop into our Discord, and I'll see you all in game.